In the Falklands, the British lost twice as many ships close in to land as in open ocean. The Navy faced a completely different set of problems in the confined waters around San Carlos.
From a landing point of view, it was ideal because the beaches were of the right gradient and the right texture and were sheltered. On the other hand, our greatest problem, as is widely known, was the enclosed circumstances in which we had to deal with this quite intense air threat. Our excellent radars were almost useless in that very confined operating area. Reflections from land cluttered the picture to an unacceptable degree, so that really all you could see was a sort of rice pudding effect on your radar screen, which made it very difficult to see aircraft targets, which were flying low, round corners, and coming at you from only 2 or 3 miles notice and seen visually from the bridge.
On the first day of the landings, HMS Ardent caught the worst of these attacks from Argentina.
Éramos 6 aviones en total, 6 aviones Skyhawk A4Q, separados en 2 secciones reforzadas de 3 y 3, distanciadas 10 minutos una de otra.
Well, the first attack was by Navy A4s of the big heavy attacks. And indeed, I was talking to the ship's company on the ship's main broadcast, because it's a way of keeping the chaps down below aware of what's going on. And we hadn't been able to detect them on radar. And just as I was talking to the ship's company, we saw the Navy A4s, because they're painted white and much more easy to see.
La fragata intuyó, el comandante intuyó el ataque, puesto que al momento de cruzar los aviones por encima, estaba desarrollando toda su velocidad, tratando de ganar aguas abiertas, es decir, una actitud lógica del comandante naval.
And I turned away from land to give my weapons as much opportunity as possible, and also into wind as fast as I could, because this gives a high crossing rate, which causes more of a problem for the chaps to aim.
Cuando mi mira cruzó por el blanco, lancé mis bombas y comencé las maniobras evasivas, imaginando que desde la fragata estaban saliendo los misiles.
And they dropped retard bombs, and I think it was a chap called Philippi who was in the first one, and 2 of his bombs hit me and went off, destroying my Seacat system. Indeed, I looked after, and the Seacat launcher, which is quite a heavy piece of kit, had gone about 100 feet up in the air and was wobbling around up there, which is slightly bad news. We then received an attack from daggers. It was a confused attack, and we're still not sure whether it was 4 or 5 of them. Now, they didn't actually hit us with any bombs that went off, but they did hit us with some that didn't go off, but a lot of them sort of bounced through the masts and things. Then we had a final attack by more Navy A4s, and they again hit us with, I think it was 5 bombs which went off down aft. I think overall we were hit by 11 bombs.
Ardent sank just a few hours later. Its 1960s weapons and radar had proved inadequate so close to land. But Argentine pilots were not always so fortunate. At least 50 Argentine aircraft were shot down during the war. The Sea Harriers, although heavily outnumbered, were responsible for most of these losses. In the case of Ardent, Sea Harriers caught up with the Argentine aircraft just 2 minutes after the bombing.
Y encontrándome desarrollando esas maniobras, sentí un fuerte impacto en la cola que me dejó el avión sin control, sin posibilidad de seguir girando o de hacer maniobras evasivas. El avión se encabritó, empezó a mover su nariz hacia arriba, temblaba. Traté de corregir ese movimiento. Con las 2 manos empujaba el bastón hacia atrás, tratando de volver el vuelo a la normalidad, pero el bastón parecía soldado al piso. no respondía a los controles. Miré a mi izquierda, vi un numeral haciendo escape y miro a la derecha y veo un avión Sea Harrier que se aproximaba como si fuera para un remate. Ya lo veía como se acomodaba detrás mío, así que dije, esto está todo perdido, y decidí eyectarme.
The Navy were very pleased with the performance of the Sea Harrier, in particular with its handling qualities.
It has a remarkable wing which allows it to be flown without trepidation at very slow speed. And of course it's got the fabled nozzles which allow you to decelerate very quickly and give you one or two more advantages in combat. So we took advantage of its handling qualities at slow speed to develop the tactics that we use for the aeroplane in combat.
No Sea Harriers were ever lost in air-to-air combat. Their main weapon was this, the Sidewinder missile. Most Argentine aircraft had no equivalent weapon.
Considero que en la batalla de Malvinas, si hubo una estrella que influenció el resultado final, esa fue el misil Sidewinder. El Sidewinder L, asociado a cualquier avión, hubiera desbalanceado en favor ese combate. Realmente contribuyó de manera significativa al mantenimiento de la superioridad aérea por parte de los británicos.